Fire them up. That's what we do here at the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up. Yep, you are tuned into 1039 WYAB, and we are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube, and we are streaming at the mothership. That is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick us up on our 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal, that is 1039, like, share, and subscribe to the stream. Help grow the audience. Greatly appreciate it. We are coming from the Cottonwood Exchange Plaza, the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studio. Excited to do that. Try to always up the game, up the repertoire. The phone number, if you want to be part of the show today, 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. Know well the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds. Man, after last night, watching the weather down south was just a madness. I was watching one of the storm chasers on YouTube, Ryan Hall, y'all, and one of his storm chasers got hit by a bolt of lightning. His car got hit. It was incredible to watch the lightning. Absolutely tragic, all the damage. And, the only thing you can do is be weather aware. And I've got a lot of texters saying, you talked a little bit about the weather, and it's better to talk about it beforehand than after the fact. And it's better to have a going-in game plan than not to have a going-in game plan. And we will get to the redistricting stuff here in just a hot minute, but there's something I just wanted to clear up. In the show earlier, they said that Jameson Haygood left the radio station under less than perfect conditions. And I want to let you know that Jameson asked me a month and a half before he was planning to leave, hey, do you want to take over my show? And he had to do a little bit of convincing to me because I love Jameson, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jameson. And I don't know anybody here at the radio station who doesn't like the guy. And he left on his terms, no craziness, no behind the scenes action or anything like that I'm aware of. June 2nd, it'll be 1 year. It's rapidly approaching, less than a month away. Man, it's already been almost a year. But I just wanted to clear that up. Right now, no confirmed deaths in the weather event from yesterday. Those long track tornadoes, it just kept on barreling over the same track over and over again. Apparently, there is a 1-year-old who's missing. Hopefully, we find that little guy or gal healthy, strong, maybe a little bit of shock. But I want to talk about this redistricting stuff. And, there's unkind truths out there that get people upset. And the more unkind truths that you share with your people, the more functional of a system you'll have. The more kind lies you tell, the more dysfunctional a system becomes over time. The kind lies like the soft bigotry of low expectations. The kind lies that there's no real big difference between Democrats and Republicans. The kind lie that there is no God. The unkind truth that there's not one Democrat city in the United States of America that is operating functionally. The unkind lie that since the Democrats have been in control of Jackson, it's turned into a complete hellhole. The unkind truth saying that the Democrats in the United States of America want to pack the Supreme Court and completely change the way that the U.S. Supreme Court operates, the Congress operates, and America operates. We are in a completely dysfunctional system right now. And everybody's been asking me, and this is the other thing that came up. We're going to weave this into the show today. The disclosure all of a sudden popping up everywhere in feeds. We need to make sure that we're always keeping in mind the things that need to be disclosed. But the unkind truth is that the history in the United States, slavery, the evilness of it, has been weaponized into something that should have never been. And now, if you don't agree with a certain party or a certain political persuasion, you're just automatically a racist. And that's a lie. But here's the worst part about this. This is the unkind truth. When the majority of people out there are agreeing with a portion or a substantive portion of what you're saying, and you turn around and call them a racist, well, then they stop agreeing with you, and they start running the other way. We see it all the time. And you looked at what happened in Indiana with the Supreme Court ruling, or I'm not sorry, not the Supreme Court ruling, but the Senate election in the Republican Party. 5 out of 7 senators lost their seats for not voting for redistricting. One of those senators who won, who was what I will call a more establishment type, pulled off the dirtiest trick in the book, running 2 candidates with the same name and drawing away. That was pretty good. But I wanna talk about this one right here. I always tell you, go out and vote in Republican primaries. Go and vote in Democrat primaries. You know, we had that one alderman in Picayune win by 3 votes, 34 to 31. Well, imagine losing 6,324 to 6,331, or 34 to 31. 6,334 to 6,331. You lose by 3 votes. That's what happened in Indiana, or appears to happen. I don't know if how they're gonna do that. You'd have to assume that there's gonna be some type of recount on that. But these elections are critical and absolutely imperative that we get out and vote. That's the first takeaway from that. And as this show does, we always try to get more people involved in the local political process, not so much the national and federal type of stuff. It's a little bit harder to have impact. Although you think about it, you know, you're a homeschool mom and dad, and you've homeschooled your kids, and you've raised them right, but they didn't get out to go vote. And now you've lost the plot. I know I've been told by so many of you, "Andy, I just don't like voting in the primary elections." Well, that's what happens when you don't vote in the primary elections. You get who you get. But there's a good 2-minute article, 2 minute and 15 seconds from WLBT talking about Mississippi redistricting, and I just kinda wanna rebut that a little bit.
Fight is brewing in Mississippi, and it could change who represents you at the state and federal levels. Some Republicans want to use an upcoming special session to redraw congressional district lines. Others say that's moving too fast, could backfire. Three Your Side's Courtney Ann Jackson has both sides of the debate.
And what I wanna say is that there are definitely 2 sides to this debate, and I see both sides of this debate. And I'm always one more who wants to move a little bit more than hold back. I do realize that sometimes discretion is the better part of valor, but in this case, I don't think so.
If you're on social media much, you may have seen clips like these from State Auditor Shad White.
Could mean the end of the district that was drawn specifically to protect Benny Thompson.
To be clear, the governor has only made it official for lawmakers to reconvene to redraw the state Supreme Court voting lines.
And yesterday, as you remember, we went through on an Excel, and I pointed out the top 24 counties in Mississippi. Tomorrow, I hope to have all of the counties of Mississippi broken down per congressional district, per population, per percentage of Democrat, per percentage of Republican, and actual hard voter data as well. I'm telling you what, the power of AI is an amazing thing if you know how to use it right. It makes you smart real quick.
White says time's ticking to add congressional lines to their agenda.
If they act quickly, there is enough time, but every day that goes by makes that a little bit harder.
But other Republicans have said they may create purple districts if they rush the process.
And this is where I want to say, there wouldn't be purple districts if Republicans voted like Republicans in Washington, D.C. And I try very hard to make sure that I stay focused on issues and not necessarily the person who's voting. But when you can't get Ilhan Omar to have the ethics investigation, when you have votes that empower panels like the J6 panel, that disparages people. And how much of a strength of a district do you need? Do you really need a R plus 18, a R plus 23, a R plus 21, or a R plus 14 district? Do you need a D plus 11 district? I don't know.
White isn't buying that argument.
There's software that's free online where you can draw your own map. Pretty easy to create 4 congressional districts that President Trump would have won by a large margin. So I think that the folks who are saying that are generally people who are trying to find an excuse to not redistrict.
Pete Perry has worked for public.
Yep. And, Shad is considered a firebrand. As an auditor, he's done a great job. Our lieutenant governor tried to put something through in the Senate to limit what the state auditor could do. Thankfully, that backfired. And that's the problem with firebrand conservatives, whether that be Shad White or somebody else, is that they say stuff that makes the political class uneasy. Not necessarily because they're wrong, but because you can't completely calculate if you're going to win or lose that move. It's like in court. You don't ever ask a question you don't know the answer to. And Pete Perry's going to come here and he's going to bring up some good points.
Republican politics in Mississippi for decades. He's urging caution, especially on the congressional lines.
We ain't Virginia, we ain't Louisiana, we ain't Florida. We've had our primary and it's not going to work.
And this is what I would say to my brother Perry, because he understands Mississippi politics. He's been involved with it a long time. Mississippi is looked to as a almost like a fatherly figure around the United States of America. There are so many states that would kill to have the problems, and I mean that seriously. They would kill, politically speaking, to have the problems that we have here in Mississippi. Illinois would love to be as red as Mississippi. Minnesota would love to be as red as Mississippi. We've had some of them on this program. But yet, we're dithering.
Beyond the calendar concerns, Perry thinks any redrawing would likely mean court challenges and could leave Republicans with less than they started with.
Well, it's 3-1 right now. If you redraw it, it could go to 4-0, but it could also go to 2-2. And
that is going to be really tough to do with the math. There are ways you could do it, but just breaking down the county by county, the D's versus the R's, that would be really tough to do. You would have to even do more gerrymandering than it is right now. Look, I got to take my first commercial break of the hour. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available, or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at DaviniEquipment.com. Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
It's road trip season again. Is your vehicle ready? Take your vehicle to Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland to get it in tip-top shape before you head out of town. Don't get stranded while you're away from home. Preventative maintenance is their specialty at Green's Tire and Auto. And if your check engine light is already on, then Green's Tire and Auto can tell what's wrong and get it fixed. Before you start your road trip, take your car to Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland. 601-992-6000.
You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show. I will not let you down. The phone number is 601-879-0002. Text line is 601-879-5060. And we're just reviewing this not opinion piece, but reporting piece from WLBT. And let's continue on.
And you got to be careful what you want. Elections are not toys that you can just bounce around and play with. They have consequences and lots of laws that apply to them.
It's not just.
And Pete is absolutely right. And if you look at the consequences of places like Minnesota, where now they are saying that they have free and fair elections, but no one can actually go in and certify the votes. I've got the audio and the piece where Minnesota is now disenfranchising other states by allowing illegal aliens just to go ahead there and vote, and there's going to be no check for it. Mississippi, we are not afraid of lawsuits. We have the Dobbs decision. We just got the decision from the Supreme Court that limited mail-in balloting, voting. We are not afraid. We're in the right. But if we do not take the same type of stance that the Democrats are taking, and I've got this here. If you go to my X account, let me go to my bookmarks here. I've got a map that's somewhere. And I'm re-Xing it right now. But it's got a picture of New England with all their seats that they've gerrymandered. and then it shows how the Republicans are finally starting to go ahead and respond. And it's one of those things where it's a brutal game that is being played, that this country's been set up upon for the last 60 years, further dividing us, creating the division bigger and bigger, not just politically, but spiritually. And it's gonna be a big fight, and if it goes to the courts, then it goes to the courts.
Republicans calling out this possibility of backfired intentions. State Democratic Party Chairman Chuck Taylor says the math works against a dramatic redraw.
It actually may have an ill effect or unwanted effect when it comes to conservatives. With 40% of the population, there is not a lot of places you can go to redistrict Black voters out and Black politicians.
Could it be that there are actually Black Republicans out there that just don't show up to vote because they know they'll be ostracized in their community? Talked about it yesterday. The smallest congressional district in Mississippi is the Democrat district. District 2, 695,000 people, whereas all the other Republican districts, one has 751,000 roughly, one has 714,000, and the other one has 723,000. The math is not mathin'. What's mathin' is what the Supreme Court said is illegal, that you can't draw a district based on racial lines. You can draw them on political lines. The Supreme Court said you can draw them on political lines, which is what the Democrats have done up in New England. So why can't we do it in Mississippi? They're doing it in Texas. Why can't we do it in Mississippi? They're doing it in Florida. Why can't we do it in Mississippi? They're doing it in Tennessee. Why can't we do it in Mississippi? And I'm going to let the Democratic chairman speak, and then I'll have a little bit more to say about this.
Out.
So now we wait to see if the urgency or caution side wins out ahead of the special session on May 20th. Courtney Ann Jackson, 3 on your side.
Not so great.
And normally I wouldn't put the little zinger in there, but I thought WLBT did a pretty good job there. And what I think is going to happen is you're going to have to figure out a way to where if you want to use the pragmatic cautionary tale, that people are just going to have to figure out a way to where this doesn't come up to redistrict and redraw. Will they redraw the Supreme Court district, or will we be pragmatic about that too? I think this sets up a very interesting 2027. Which state senators were for redistricting and which ones were not? You know, this isn't something that's really difficult. And when the maps were redrawn by the lieutenant governor back in 2022, there were many Republicans who were complaining about it, how they were purposely empowering Democrats. And I still don't understand how Democrats have chairmanships in the Senate. But that's neither here nor there. This is going to set up a really interesting test for the Republicans. Obviously, you have the more conservative Republican leaders like Shad White out there actively pushing for redistricting, and you had Michael Watson on yesterday on the Lindsey Beckham show for an hour. If you didn't get to hear that interview, it was actually really good. You have his thoughts on it, and he as a lawyer and as the Secretary of State, he definitely kind of answered that question in a way that some of us might not have liked, but yet there we are. And we haven't heard from our lieutenant governor or our governor yet. And has President Trump really came in and talked about what he wants Mississippi to do? Because I genuinely feel like if he did, that would push the barometer a little bit. I also shared another map where people are already redrawing districts, and Hunter Estes, who used to be Tate Reeves' communication guy, I'm not sure if he still is, but has a very ostentatious redrawing of the map. And it kind of, it almost baffles me a little bit. One's Republican plus 23, one's another. Two of them are Republican plus 22, and two of them are Republican plus 23. It doesn't make sense to me. And this is the part where I kind of agree with Pete Perry on. You've got to be careful when you start drawing this stuff. And you know, I learned from the master of redrawing maps, man, Mike Madigan of Illinois. He would draw it down to the street. He would break up precincts and neighborhoods. He would snake it through. Oh, got to go grab this guy over here. He would go against his political enemies just to put them in a district that they knew that he couldn't win on. It was irritating and frustrating to be a conservative, and I've dealt with this map dealing stuff a lot longer than a lot of people think. And we have to, as Republicans, come together and unite on this really quickly. And it would be good to have a full, complete Republican delegation going to Congress in DC. I think it would be good to have some districts that were not so much locks, not necessarily purple, but locks, where if a congressman didn't represent his constituents in the way the constituents wanted, that there would be a chance in a primary. But this also goes to political and civic education as well, and we all know it. Mike Madison talks about this. I will vote Democrat, must vote blue. I am a Republican, must vote red. We got these bots out there who can't think for themselves. And we have to educate ourselves on that. And I'm not sure that we're doing that here in the United States of America, let alone Mississippi. Can't just blame Mississippi for something like that. But the redistricting fight is going to be on in full push. I'm excited to see where it leads. I'm not sure which way Mississippi's going to go, but I will tomorrow break down every county in Mississippi and be able to tell you if there's a way to actually redraw the state. And I'm not sure of any free software out there that draws it, but I'll be using the county data, and I'm sure there's more data, more concise than that. But if we can do it at a county-wide data kind of way, then there's definitely a way that we can go ahead and redraw this map in a way that still gives Democrat a chance to win. But we're not going to draw districts strictly based on race anymore, because that's what the Supreme Court said. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Fox News commentary with Laura Ingraham next.
When disasters hit and cell networks fail, Rapid Radios keeps you connected. Instant push to talk with coast-to-coast range. No contracts, no monthly bills. Trusted by law enforcement, government agencies, and over 500,000 users. Always ready when your phone isn't. Because in an emergency, seconds matter, and reliability isn't optional. Go to rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for 5% off and free shipping from Michigan. Rapid Radios. Communication redefined.
Here's Laura Ingraham.
9 years ago, the Queen of Mean announced that President Trump was banned from the Met Gala. Of course, it wasn't always this way. Back in 2012, Anna Wintour was perfectly fine having Donald Trump and Melania attend the Met Gala. They were celebrities, and I guess they were just presumed to be liberal. But once he ran as a conservative and he won, Trump became a pariah, persona non grata, an unrepentant political bias from the inclusivity gang. They hate, walls at our southern border, but they wall off their entire industry to designers and celebrities who don't follow along in a left-wing trance. The gala is the big annual fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art, so that's cool. But it's the brainchild of Ms. Winter, who runs it with an iron fist. Maybe it was once cool to see real celebrities with real talent show up and look beautiful and grand, but now it's become kind of a spoof of itself.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
You had an accident. Now you're hearing aftermarket parts, insurance company preferred, and a lot of other noise that serves to confuse you. Call Clinton Body Shop. We'll keep it simple. We are certified by 19 vehicle makers to assure you get a proper repair. We care about your investment and your safety. Call the shop who only wants one partner in the repair process, and that's you, the owner. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Our flag was still there. The official 250th celebration flag is available at a complete flag source on I-55 North in Jackson. It's just one way you can show your appreciation for the greatest country on earth. Flags for all occasions. International and state flags too. Flagpole construction available. You can check it out at CompleteFlags.com. A complete flag source, I-55 North in Jackson.
And welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. You will see every senator run to say they want to redraw the congressional district lines because Delbert Hosemann is saying we're not redrawing the congressional district lines, only Supreme Court of Mississippi district lines. Yep. So there's the cover right there. And again, this is our lieutenant governor who wanted to throw President Trump into the Gulf of Mexico. Why am I so adamant about redrawing the lines now? Well, let me use the Democrats' own words against him. Here's Mr. Eric Holder. Hey, y'all remember him? He wants to get rid of the filibuster and stack the Supreme Court. 3, 2, 1, go.
We'll continue to use every tool at our disposal to save our democracy. Save it now so that we can ultimately heal it. And we need to win the midterms.
What do you mean by healing it? By making it more of a despotism hellhole? Making it more like Jackson, more like Chicago, more like New York? Look at how quickly New York has fallen. It's absolutely cratered into the ground.
And we need to win in 2028. And once we do, we've got to pass federal legislation that bans partisan gerrymandering and restores the necessary protections from the Voting Rights Act that the Roberts Court has destroyed.
Did you look at New England at all, sir? Have you looked at these Democrat states who have skillfully and deliberately, over the course of time, over the course of decades, continue to remove Republican districts and draw blue ones? Have you, I mean, we supposed to be so blind, or are we not supposed to use, the tools that are given to us through the internet and just stick to our social media rot gut, brain rotting type of entertainment? Not me.
And I mean, that's my personal opinion. I'm not holding anybody else on this call to this. But if that means reconsidering the filibuster or reforming the court to protect our democracy, then that's a conversation we have to be willing to have.
So you can't bust the filibuster to get the Save America Act through, but you're going to be able to bust the filibuster to stack the Supreme Court. Make it make sense, John Thune. Senator John Thune. I should have been respectful. Make it make sense, Senator Wicker, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. We're vowing to protect the filibuster now just so that the Democrats are going to openly use it. Have we forgotten everything that happened between 2020 and 2024 when the government was weaponized against the conservative thought in the United States of America and the world for that matter? Have you forgot? Oh, let's hear CNN when they still had only 700,000 people listening to them. Listen to this.
Can you just describe a little bit in terms of the role of and how it would transform if an attorney general, we're not looking at things purely from the facts, purely from the evidentiary burden and how to meet it.
Wait, did she just say not just purely looking at it from the facts? We're going to start that over again because that's scary.
Can you just describe a little bit in terms of the role of and how it would transform if an attorney general, we're not looking at things purely from the facts.
We're not looking at things purely from the facts. This is from December 2023. That's the Democrat mantra right there. Not looking purely from the facts, but how it makes you feel in your heart. That's what the emotion, the rage, the love, the hate. That's where the Democrats want you operating from. I can't operate from there. I got to be grounded.
Purely from the evidentiary burden and how to meet it. But instead, taking directives on who to...
Wait, we're going to do that one time. Not only from the evidence and the facts, but hear that? Lawyers, are you hearing what I'm hearing?
In terms of the role of and how it would transform if an attorney general, we're not looking at things purely from the facts, purely from the evidentiary burden and how to meet it, but instead taking directives on who to prosecute from the president of the United States.
Sure. If the president told a compliant attorney general, I don't like what this congressman said about me or did to me over the course of the last 2-3 years, whatever, open an investigation on that person.
You mean exactly what the Biden Justice Department did? Exactly what they did. Trump didn't do it. There's been a lot of Trump chatter about it. But let's be truthful. Attorney General Pam Bondi was like boobs on a bull. Completely worthless. Today or tomorrow's the last day that Dr. Fauci has the chance to be indicted under federal law, under statute of limitations, according to Senator Rand Paul. That's where I got that information from. They always say that the Republicans are going to do the bad things, but it's really the Democrats who are. And then they blame the fear that the Republicans might go and do something, and it gets everybody fired up.
That attorney general could tell a compliant United States attorney to do just that. Talk to a compliant FBI director who could be placed.
Or place FBI agents in the crowd on January 6th to make it look like something that it's not. Do you hear what this guy is saying? Do you hear what Eric Holder, the Democrat operative, is saying? Using the DOJ and the FBI to go ahead and make crap up. Not looking at the facts, but taking orders from the President of the United States.
By the president to open an investigation and then to just look through that person's life and look for anything.
And this is where every Republican who doesn't agree with redistricting, you need to listen to this really carefully. Because no man here is Jesus. No man here is perfect. No woman here is perfect. There's skeletons in everyone's closet. And listen to what the Democrat plan is. It's in plain sight.
That you possibly can find. And who's to say what you find in any person's life that might run afoul of the law? And even beyond that, the mere fact of an investigation of a person who is a public figure can be reputation ruining, can be politically damaging.
Think about that. They're not talking about the democracy, the republic. They're not thinking about the welfare of the country. They're thinking about political warfare and using any means necessary. And we can all talk a big game about how Trump's wanted to get stuff done, but it hasn't happened like he would have wanted it to. The truth of the matter is we wouldn't even be in this situation if Elon Musk wouldn't have bought Twitter. Because everything that this guy just said about the Democrat Party doing, they did. They locked down Facebook. They locked down Twitter. They got rid of conservative social media. They got rid of conservative apps. They were targeting conservatives who were boisterous and articulate and could hold an argument. They're doing the very same things. They're telling you what they're doing. And then we're sitting here saying, well, we got to be careful because we might get a 2-2 state. No. Man, these Democrats, they're savages. You know what they are? And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. They're warriors. They're fighters. It's almost, oh man, it is absolutely ridiculous to me that Republicans can't see that. And of course, X just rebooted itself, so we're gonna go.
Just describe a little bit in
Who's to say what you find in any person's life that might run afoul of the law, and even beyond that, the mere fact of an investigation of a person who is a public figure can be reputation ruining, can be politically damaging, not even if you find anything, just the fact that the investigation itself exists. And if you've got the full weight of the Justice Department, the full weight of the presidency, the full weight of the FBI focusing on somebody like that, that can be extremely damaging to not only that person individually, but to our democracy writ large.
Did you just hear that? And shout out to Maze Moore. If you're not following Maze Moore on X at MAZEMOORE, and it just looks like Maze, you're truly missing on things, because what he does is he goes out and he pulls up videos from the past that we all forget about because social media is throwing so much crap at us so fast. We can't keep up with it. And we forget about what the Democrats did in 2022 and 2023. We forget about what they did to this country and to this nation. I didn't forget. And I wouldn't have even found this if I didn't go ahead and built that list where I check certain news sources every day. And you should be doing the exact same thing. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
WYAB.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time.
Hey, we're in a
Leaky
commercial,
faucet,
man.
Sink or toilet? Need a
Yeah, I
water
know.
heater
I just
installed?
had one
Call
question
on
to ask you,
Anglin
and I didn't
Plumbing.
want to
You
ask
can
you on the
always
radio.
trust
This is Willie.
Anglin's
Because I
reliable
didn't
and
want to put
hardworking
you in
technicians.
no
Don't
trouble
let
at all.
plumbing headaches
Can I
ruin
ask
your
you a
day.
personal
Call
question
on
between you
Anglin
and I?
Plumbing Service to
Is
get it
Deborah
fixed.
Hoseman,
And you
I
can
heard
be a part
Kim
of the
say
team.
years ago,
Anglin Plumbing
is
is
he a
now
rhino
hiring.
or
Learn more
just a
about
Democrat
Anglin
in
Plumbing
disguise?
at
I think he's just a
anglinplumbing.com.
Democrat.
Kim Wade
And I'm
here.
not
Corcoran
being
Door Company has been
hateful
providing
or,
quality residential,
and I would say
garage,
this
and
publicly
commercial
too.
overhead door products
You
to
know, I try
Mississippians
not
for
to
over 50
poke
years.
that bear
Corcoran Door is
because
the
he is the
supplier of
lieutenant
garage
governor
door
and he
parts
is in
and
the Republican
services
Party. I
such
met him.
as
He's very
LiftMaster,
cordial, nice.
commercial and
But
residential door
I genuinely
operators,
think he's
as
got
well
really
as
liberal
Clopay,
tendencies.
sectional
He's
commercial
more
and
of a
residential
Democrat.
doors, Aston,
And
commercial sheet
that's
and rolling steel
why
doors,
he's doing what
and
he's doing.
Cornell, rolling steel and shutters,
Right.
with
Okay.
many
Well,
in
that's
stock
why I
for the
just
same
didn't
day
want to ask
pickup.
you an open over the open
CorcoranDoor.com. It's
radio. Okay. Because I feel the same way. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless.
God bless you, brother Willie.
Mexican restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Ken here with Rapid Oil Change, your fast service and fleet maintenance headquarters for over 40 years. With parts in stock to fit most makes and models, we can perform routine maintenance in a matter of minutes, keeping downtime to a minimum. With brands like Castrol, Mobile One, Lucas, and Rain-X, it's easy to see why Rapid Oil Change has been the go-to for fast service with a smile for over 40 years. Don't forget our 24/7 touchless car wash. We accept most national and local fleets. We're Mississippi's leader for fast service with a smile. Visit one of our 6 locations today, oilchangems.com.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call PeopleLease. Let PeopleLease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. PeopleLease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients
I hear that, Chunk.
to simplify their employee administration. Visit PeopleLease.com. That's PeopleLease.com to learn more.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
I'm on a diet. I don't want to be down there at Tom's Fried Pies. We had a good time. When I tell you the crust was flaky, I'm talking about buttery. This was nothing like I've ever tasted. Ever. I mean, I've never tasted anything like that, man. It was nice. Atmosphere was nice. Everybody there was nice. Because I'll be back, even though I don't supposed to with my diet. I really enjoyed myself.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Tom'sFriedPies.com.
Hi, this is Allen Allen, nurse practitioner at the MEA Medical Clinic in Flora, Mississippi. Located in the Cotton Exchange Plaza, we're here to provide patient-centered care that is thorough, compassionate, and convenient. Whether you need primary care services or same-day medical care when you aren't feeling your best, we're here to support your health.
MEA Medical Clinics.
And we are back here on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. You know, right now what you are seeing is political warfare. Yep, you're seeing political warfare. But it's going to turn violent soon. It's only a matter of time. And I need to make sure that I fully disclose how I'm wording this. I recently subscribed to Disney Plus for 1 month and 1 month only. Had to watch Maul Shadow Lord, but I canceled it already. And Luke Skywalker himself has come out on Blue Sky and come out with this post. And I'm retweeting it right now. And I hope you all go and check it out. It's got a picture of President Trump in a grave, dead. And Mark Hamill writes, if only he should live long enough to witness the inevitable devastating ideas in or devastating loss in the midterms, be held accountable for his unprecedented corruption, impeached, convicted, and humiliated in his countless crimes, long enough to realize he will be disgraced in the history books forevermore. Don the Con. You have Congressman Benny Thompson coming out and saying there's going to be civil war if the lines are redrawn. Republicans are saying, we're going to cross those lines. Look, the Democrats have crossed those lines a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. They crossed those lines a long time ago. You've got that comedian. I can't remember her name, but I can't even recognize her face now because of all the plastic surgery she had, where she held the head of Trump beheaded. You don't see Republicans doing that. You don't see conservatives doing that. You don't see Christians doing that. The only people beheading anybody is Muslims and Islamists, terrorists. There's a story that I don't want to tell because I don't have enough time to tell it now, but there's a story behind a beheading that would make your skin curl. And if you're a believer, it would probably make you break down a little bit if you're being truthful with yourself. Brother Drunk's chiming in. Let's demand a strongly worded letter of a complaint. That'll do it. We sent a strong, everybody's talking about how bad this DOJ is, that Trump's reckless and driving. The DOJ isn't doing a damn thing. DOJ is worthless. Nothing happening in Minnesota. Nothing happening in California. ICE has been doing good, but in order to get ICE to work, we had to rename it to NICE. And the Republicans are so weak that they can't fund the Department of Homeland Security. They got to rename ICE to NICE. We are living in such a vacuum. I've never been a big movie person outside of Star Wars and Marvel. The Truman Show, that's it. It's like we're living in the Truman Show. Quick, keep the Republicans on the stage. We don't want to see that there's a real world out there. Republicans are so afraid to cross lines that the Democrats, they didn't just cross the line. They blew right through it. They dropped a dumb bomb right on it and just boom, blew it all to hell. In the next hour, we're going to talk a little bit more local stuff. We might talk some more redistricting. I do have more on it. But I want to talk some local stuff too, because this firefighter stuff, absolutely ridiculous. What happened with the business owner the other day, there's something that I found out about that I did not realize, and now I understand why it was pillaged and plundered to hell. And, at some point, we got to take the kid gloves off, Mr. Mayor. We got to talk about your leadership and the fire chief and the police chief. I know she hasn't been there that long, but there's just some standards that should have been in place a long time ago and apparently weren't. And you got the benefit of the doubt for about the first year, but nope, we got to press on. We'll be right back on the Andrew Gosser Show. We'll be right back on the Andrew Gosser Show.
This is Central Mississippi's stimulating 139 WYAB, Jackson.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Sources tell ABC News that the U.S. and Iran are negotiating not a full-fledged agreement, but a short-term proposal that White House officials say could lead to a more comprehensive deal. But there's no indication that the Iranians are agreeing to anything yet. This says the Strait of Hormuz is effectively blocked. ABC's Rachel Scott.
We know one of the major sticking points in any of these negotiations will be Iran's nuclear program. The president has long insisted that Iran needs to give up its nuclear material. So far, Iran has flat out refused. And U.S. officials also caution, even though there are messages being traded by way of Pakistan, these negotiations are fragile and they could all fall apart as they have before.
Oil prices are dropping amid hopes for a peace deal. Tornadoes in the south overnight causing extensive damage and injuries. ABC's Faith Abube in hard-hit Purvis, Mississippi.
Hundreds of buildings and homes ripped to shreds. Across Mississippi, many families reported being trapped in their homes. And here in Purvis, the damage stretching for about 2 miles, littered with downed trees and power lines.
So far, 17 injuries reported. Damage in Lamar, Lincoln, and Lawrence counties total over 400 homes. Many roads closed because of debris. The Dutch cruise ship involved in a deadly hantavirus outbreak is sailing towards Spain's Canary Islands. ABC's Victor Akendo.
3 more suspected cases reported overnight. That brings the total to 11. Dutch officials say 30 passengers disembarked in St. Helena nearly 2 weeks ago. And here at home, several states are now monitoring former passengers.
In the high-profile fence-mending department, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has visited the Vatican today. His boss, President Trump, has criticized Pope Leo's opposition to the Iran war. The State Department says the meetings with Leo and the Vatican's top diplomat covered peace in the Middle East and underscored a strong and enduring relationship between the U.S. and the Holy See. You're listening to ABC News.
Warmer weather is finally here, and that means cookouts, ball games, and maybe enjoying some time on the water.
But it also means lots of heavy food, sweets, and maybe an extra adult beverage or two. Thank goodness we both take Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All the things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted natural ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Active Liver helps us enjoy the good things in life with peace of mind that our liver isn't working overtime. Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, and you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your...
News brought to you this hour by Lee's Old Country Store, Antiques and Collectibles, located on Highway 22 in Flora, a half mile west of 49 North.
Recovery Day in South Mississippi. The storms are over for now, and today it's mostly cloudy with a high at 73. Tonight, patchy fog is possible with a low at 55. Rain chances back Friday with a high at 74, and storm chances return Friday night with a 70% chance. Storm chances continue through the weekend. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. A 1-year-old child was reported missing in Lincoln County because of the storms last night. No elaboration on what happened from the sheriff's department there. Suffice it to say that they have been busy with tornado touchdowns reported in that county and several others, and schools closed today in Lawrence County, Lincoln County, also Brookhaven and Franklin County. The tornadoes that were sighted moved through countryside mostly, but that brought down a lot of trees, many of which ended up on roadways that are still being cleared. I-55 and Highway 84, the two biggest, are now tree-free. Some injuries have been reported, though, with no exact tally yet from MEMA, and damage, including the twisting of a shell station in Bude, is still being surveyed, as is the damage to study what strength some of the storms may have been. Day drinking, or maybe it more alternately should be said, on the job drinking, is the accusation against 3 Jackson firefighters suspended after a weekend incident where they are reported to have gone to a bar while out on a fire call. The chief is calling that unacceptable behavior. Under arrest and charged with shooting into a car Tuesday night is 23-year-old Centarius Williams. JPD says he shot 2 people through the glass of a Dodge Challenger as they turned in to the apartment complex where he stays on Shaw Road. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
This May, celebrate the moments that matter most with something that lasts forever. At Albriton's Jewelry, we're honoring moms, grads, and all of life's milestones with a spectacular Mother's Day and graduation sale happening May 4th through May 16th. Enjoy store-wide savings with up to 50% off select merchandise, including 25% off our remaining Breitling watch inventory. Looking for something extraordinary? Now's your chance. We're closing out our stunning Jude Francis collection at 50% off and offering an incredible 50% off Veragio jewelry. Timeless pieces designed to shine for a lifetime. From elegant necklaces to unforgettable rings, you'll find the perfect gift to say thank you, I'm proud of you, or simply, I love you. Visit Albriton's Jewelry today and make this season unforgettable. But hurry, these savings end May 16th. Albriton's Jewelry, Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant since 1920.
At Albriton's Jewelers.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available, or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson, or at DaviniEquipment.com.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. And we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch that is WYAB, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the stream. We'd appreciate it greatly. Yep, number if you want to call into the show. Cut a couple calls during the breaks. Not wanting to come on the air, and I understand why. But if you want to come on, number 601-879-0002, and the text line is open at 601-879-5060. The mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show, it's simple. We're here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. Know well the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds. Yep. And I'm trying to pay attention to my flock and my herd. I lean more conservative than I do liberal, but I do have a couple of libertarian tendencies in me from that time to time. And I just feel like there's people that are not doing that. And if we needed another reason to talk about elections and redistricting, this is just breaking. Federal judge won't order the Department of Justice to return seized 2020 ballots to Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia. Remember how we knew about all the fraud in Georgia back in 2020? We watched it on TV. They literally live streamed it. And the wheels of justice at the FBI have actually done something and started analyzing and doing all that. Tulsi Gabbard, DIA, she's been working on it. But I'm here to tell you, it's almost too little too late. And then, it's not like I make this up. It just happens live on air. I tell you about the Minnesota vote yesterday, where they're going ahead and not being able to inspect voter tallies. And then we have this in 2020. I mean, we're talking about Mississippi lawsuits. Mississippi needs to file a 14th Amendment lawsuit against the state of Minnesota right now. I know there's smart people who can do it. You know what? If they're not going to sit there and accurately keep track of their votes, they are disenfranchising the state of Mississippi and the voters of Mississippi. And I'm sure our Attorney General Lynn Finch, she will get a lot of her friends who jump on these lawsuits like that. She's great at that. That's something that she's really good at. And I'm not like being a smart aleck when I say that either. She's got pull. A federal judge said Wednesday that he would not order the Justice Department to return ballots from the 2020 presidential election if seized from Fulton County, Georgia, rejecting a request by the county. The judge said that it had not met the high legal bar that would allow him to intervene, even as he acknowledged that its events leading up to the case in varying ways are unprecedented. Yeah, it is unprecedented to steal an American presidential election live on TV, live over the internet, live streaming. But yet, here we are. In his 68-page opinion, Booley said that the same aspects of the affidavit were problematic, troubling, and in one instance, misleading, talking about the county. The county is so full of it. And we played some audio of that lady who was in that black suit coming out and talking about how they're trying to do everything they can to make sure they document everything. We have all the evidence we need to prove voter fraud in 2020. It's just, do we have the Constitution, the moxie, the gusto, the gravitas to go ahead and call it out? Or will we write another strongly worded letter? That just broke during the. I mean, what I really want to talk about is Jackson, but things like this happen, and I just got to go with the hot hand. So, as we all have heard, breaking over the top of the hour news, Clay's talked about it, but I feel I want to talk about it too because I've been really complimentary to Mayor John Horn and I feel that 10 months, 9.5, 10 months is enough time to find where the bathroom is in the Capitol, turn on the lights, sit down, get a password to his computer, get his team in place. But this is coming from Jackson Jambalaya. This is a direct reflection on the mayor and the police chief or the fire chief, in my opinion. 3 on-duty, and this is coming from Jackson Jambalaya. 3 on-duty Jackson firefighters visited a downtown Jackson establishment during their shift. Firefighters were subsequently dispatched to a fire at a blighted property. Afterward, law enforcement was called. Sobriety testing was administered, and the firefighters were found to be in violation of department policy. I don't know how long Fire Department Chief Rayson Thomas has been on duty, but that needs to really be looked at. If you're a fire chief and your crew's doing that, there's something wrong. As highway commissioner, I had a crew of people, and we had random drug testing, and I had to do it once quarterly. I did it more often than not, and granted, it was kind of expensive, but it was my responsibility if one of my snowplow drivers or one of my crew did something while on a substance, and we did pop one guy. 150 took care of him for about 8 months. He got 8 months of extra pay while he was fighting something that he knew he did wrong. This is just not making news here, but it's also making news over at Dark Horse Press. Therese Appel talks about it. The fire chief, Rayson Thomas, said, "The conduct described in the incident is completely unacceptable and inconsistent with the standards we demand of every member of this department. The safety of Jackson residents is our highest obligation, and any behavior that compromises that obligation will not be tolerated." I hope they are on administrative leave and pending dismissal. The fire chief just talked about at the last meeting, I believe it was, how we're 60 firefighters short of meeting the fire protection requirements for that next level of insurance. Who controls the city of Jackson again? Oh, that's right. That's right. But it goes on even more. I talked about Too Little Too Late from Jackson Jambalaya, May 5th, just 2 days ago. The owner of a store begged for help in the Jackson City Council meeting a month ago. Patrick Martin said his store had been robbed 15 times in the last 6 months. And I'm just saying, we got
Today, I'm going to show you.
well, YouTube decided to go ahead and run a commercial there, so I'm not going to run that commercial. But the transcript basically goes and you know what? We're going to take a quick break because I feel this is so important to play. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll play this audio from Jackson Jambalaya because it is heartbreaking to hear, and it really does help tell the story. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
You how to do the Japanese natural Ozempic. No fluff. Let's get straight to it. They tried to silence.
And we're back here at the Andrew Gosser Show. Yep, I wanted to take the break because I read the transcript a couple days ago, just the high points of it. But to actually watch this business owner plead for police attention in his business, I think it goes back to Mayor Horn. Listen to this, and you tell me what you think.
Patrick Martin, business burglar.
A business burglar? I don't know what a business burglar is. Do you?
The Patrick Martin, business burglar.
He's stepping up to the microphone here. Takes a hot second, but it's a
Good
business
morning.
burglar.
I'm Patrick Martin. I represent Martin's Furniture and Appliances. We have a business off McGravers. We're in business for over 60 years.
Did you hear that? They said that they weren't sure if they were going to go out of business or not. They said they were in business. They were in business. I'm not sitting here to place blame on anybody's ethnicity or anything like that. That's not what we do here. But party politics, that's fair game. And Democrats are the party of anti-business.
And I'm here because of all the break-ins we keep having, and we can't get anything done. We've been broke into probably 15 times in the past 6 months.
Dude, you think if you were broken into once, the police would have that on the radar? Maybe it's Jacktown. They're too busy to do that. 15 times? You would think something would be going there, but nope. Nope. Not.
Prior year, probably another 10 times. We've given over videos of people coming in, breaking in. We've given over the tools that they used, trying to get them to come in and get fingerprints off of it. No.
So we always try to brag on Jackson PD, and we like our sheriff who was running the Jackson PD, but Mr. Sheriff, what's going on with this? I mean, I'm not a big fan of the new chief. Not gonna, but she hasn't been there long enough to do anything about this. Did the acting chief of police know anything about this? Because this gets worse, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing ever gets done. We were broken into not last night, the night before, and I had the officers come out there, and they had merchandise out in our parking lot that they had taken from our store. And I'd said they were chrome rims. And I'm like, you could get fingerprints off the merchandise. And they left. They didn't even take anything with them.
Now, I can aside with the police department here, because sometimes victims think that something is of evidence and they can do that, and the police make a determination that what you think is evidence isn't. If the police didn't think that the chrome rims were evidence, then that's what they thought. But it seems to me that if the criminal brought the chrome rims into the parking lot, that there might be some fingerprints on there.
I mean, I don't know what else to do on it. I mean, it's time and time again. I give them video evidence. And one time they came in and stole.
And I really want you to listen to this. We had to get to that to get to this. Listen to this, because this is not only going to indict the mayor, the former police chief, the acting police chief, but also the district attorney, ladies and gentlemen.
Issue checks from our location, and they used whiteout and reissued the checks and put it in their own bank account.
First of all, what bank uses whiteout, accepts a check with whiteout on it? And secondly, are criminals that stupid that they use whiteout on a check and then go try to cash that check? The answer is yes, criminals are that stupid.
And the money went into their bank account. And I've told police this, and they still don't get anything done. And they have, the person's bank account information.
And that's where you really wondering what the heck the DA is doing with this. You're wondering what the mayor's doing. That whole operation in Jackson is a catastrophe. I wish we had Mayor Kim Wade. You sit there and no one's gonna see this video. I'll definitely put it out on X so that people can see it. But I don't even think the Jackson community knows how bad it is, or they know it's so bad, but they just don't care. Vote blue no matter who. This goes on for another 5 minutes. I do wanna play a little bit more of this, but it infuriates me. And I know that this is Clay and Kim's lane. They do a much better job of nuking the mayor and the police chief and the fire chief from orbit, but this is, abject this is loss of faith and confidence in the leader. In the Navy, you'd be fired. You lose command of the ship. Fire department, not just one drunk guy on duty, 3, but I digress.
And I mean, I just don't know where to go with it. There's been other times where we've, recovered something like a sledgehammer that they use, and we tell the police, and it takes them almost a day and a half to even show up. I just don't know where to go on it. I mean, we've been there for 60 years. How many other businesses are like that in Jackson?
And that's where I think I'm gonna leave this part of it, because this is not just the problem that's happening in Jackson. This is not just a problem that's happening in Chicago. It just happened in New Jersey. ExxonMobil, which had been in New Jersey for 189 years, been there forever. They just moved to Texas. And all that tax revenue that New Jersey was counting on, that's ExxonMobil. That's like one of the top 5 corporations in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They're leaving blue hellholes. Now, the good thing I guess I could say about Jackson is that it's a smaller one. It's not the same size as Chicago or Trenton, New Jersey, I believe is the city in New Jersey that ExxonMobil has moved from. So, it's a hole that can be filled. But the people have to get it filled. And I don't know if this is Mayor Horn just having too much on his desk and he needs to delegate better. Did Mayor Horn know that this business had been broken into 15 times? What does it say to when a business owner comes to the front of the table or to a committee meeting, basically on his way out the door and said, "You never did anything for us." 60 years. Police don't even show up for a day and a half. It's absolutely disgusting. And I know some of the aldermen are now sitting there talking about how great the business is and how wonderful it is. But it doesn't matter anymore. And it's days like today when I read this and I'm coming into work and I want to go talk about other things, and I'm just like, "You have to talk about this." I'm an optimistic person. Ask anybody who knows me, they'll let you know I'm an optimistic dude. There's nothing optimistic about Jackson right now. There is nothing. And if you go real closely and look, I'm just saying everybody needs to go watch that video that I just posted on X, because I'm telling you, Jackson, it's heartbreaking. And how many more businesses are we gonna lose? How many more drunk firefighters are gonna show up? How many more whiteout checks are gonna be cashed and deposited without being investigated by the DA. Is it a Democrat thing? Is it a cultural thing? I don't think it's a racial thing. I genuinely think it's a culture thing and a complete lack of respect for the city of Jackson, the capital of Mississippi. We've got our people in charge. It's blue. That's all that matters. They're taking care of us. And people on this show cannot say that I have not been fair to John Horn. When there was that 3-year pothole thing that showed up last week, I drove out there and I gave the mayor credit for getting it fixed, streets and sanitation. I was wondering if we shouldn't do that more often. WLBT should do one spot a week, focusing on the potholes of Jackson and going around getting them fixed. It still stunk. But you can't say that we haven't been fair. But these kind of things just piling up. And the positive thing about it is at least the water department is not under Jackson control. It's still under the judge's control and third-party user. At least the trash is being picked up for now. But blight is still everywhere. There's still no-go zones. And it's almost like the mayor has to come out and speak about this. He has to take responsibility for this. And then you have videos like Clay posting up about people complaining about people fleeing Jackson and moving to neighborhoods that they're not from. If you could get the heck out of Jackson, you would. If you could put your kid in a school district that didn't have the problems that Jackson Public School District has or Hinds County has, you would. But that's just my opinion. I know that this segment was right length, but we're going to end it a little early because I want to talk about Elon and SpaceX and the great stuff that's happening, and I want to make sure that we're fully disclosed on what's happening. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Metal Builder Supply in Pearl provides quality commercial and residential metal roofing, pre-engineered steel buildings, mini storage facilities, pole barns, and steel components with old-time service and competitive prices. Through our commitment, experience, and expertise, Metal Builder Supply has established a business relationship with our customers that will last a lifetime. When you need metal roofing, reflective insulation, trim, or metal decking, contact Metal Builder Supply online at metalbuildersupplypearl.com.
The Tri-County Academy Rebel success in the classroom and on the athletic stage begins with the Tri-County Academy Booster Club. Join the team and be a Rebel by getting involved and volunteering as a booster. Your involvement is the generator for fundraisers, facility upgrades, equipment, uniforms, and all other needs. Tri-County Athletics thrives in part because of our TCA boosters. Join today by calling the TCA main office at 601-879-8517 and help the Rebels continue the championship tradition.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Sources tell ABC News that the U.S. and Iran are negotiating a smaller, shorter-term proposal. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge in Tel Aviv.
An interim agreement which would mean Iran reopening gradually the Strait of Hormuz and the U.S. military in return for that gradually beginning to ease the U.S. military blockade on Iranian ports.
Oil prices are lower on peace hopes. Over a dozen injuries and roads are closed after tornadoes overnight in Lamar, Lincoln, and Lawrence counties, Mississippi. ABC's Faith Abube in Purvis.
The view from the sky, harrowing. Several homes with their roofs lifted clean off. Hundreds of structures damaged with injuries reported.
Health officials now say there are 6 confirmed cases of hantavirus on the Dutch cruise ship sailing toward Spain's Canary Islands. This is not like COVID, says the World Health Organization's Maria Van Kerkhove.
It's very different. It's that close, intimate contact that we've seen. And most hantaviruses don't transmit between people at all.
This is ABC News.
Even with interest rates higher than recent norms, real estate values are still holding strong in Mississippi. We caught up again with one of Mississippi's top real estate agents, Shane Saxton, to explain his recent activity in the market.
In the last year or so, it's been the best of my career. Interest rates have been high, but the real estate market is here to stay. Land values especially are continuing to rise. Home values are holding. If you need help with anything in real estate, just give me a call.
Find Shane Saxton on Facebook or give him a call at 601-540-5040. Hopper Property, 601-724-1435.
Hello, friends and neighbors. This is David Frederick. I'm here to tell you about the latest development here at Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. In an effort to always bring you the very best brands, I am proud to announce that Frederick Sales and Service is Central Mississippi's newest dealer for Skag zero-turn mowers and products. We have deals on one of the industry's best brands of zero-turn mowers, Skag. You can buy now and pay later because 0% financing is also available at Frederick's. Come see our inventory. We're here serving you for over 3 decades in Brandon since 1993.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, experience counts. And the Rusty Healy Agency has been serving Madison and the rest of the Jackson Metro for over 35 years. Local agent Landon Thompson is keeping that trusted tradition going strong. As a local independent agent, he's not locked into one provider. The Rusty Healy Agency can shop the top insurance companies to find the best fit for you. And everyone knows that the Rusty Healy Agency and Landon Thompson offer top quality local customer service. Contact Landon today at 601-856-3681.
Vans Comics, Cards, and Games is your local sports cards and memorabilia store, plus Pokemon, board games, comics, and more. Get in the game, make history, and own it at Vans Comics, Cards, and Games, Pear Orchard Road in Ridgeland, and at vansccg.com. Better ingredients, better pizza with a better website. Papa John's and papajohns.com team up for the best experience. Save more with Papa Rewards and all the best deals. Order today and enjoy the new specials and Papa's pairings at papajohns.com and at locations throughout the metro.
Yeah, that song's fitting only in America. You are tuned into the Andrew Gossett Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Yeah, that song's fitting. And look, only in America can an immigrant move to this country, immigrate legally, and form the greatest corporation ever in the history of humanity.
Move to this
and by that I mean SpaceX.
Immigrate legally and form the greatest corporation
and let's
ever
just
in the history of humanity.
Keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
And by that I mean SpaceX.
The United States of America would be losing the space race right now.
Keep it 100.
If it wasn't for SpaceX and his audacity to have big, hairy, audacious goals.
The space race right
and if
now.
you know, you know.
If it wasn't for SpaceX and his audacity to have big, hairy, audacious
as
goals.
I've watched Elon go,
And if you know,
and I've been watching him since 2000 when SpaceX was formed in 2002, I saw that and I was excited.
I've been watching him,
but I really got interested in it about 2007 when we were thinking about space-based applications
2002, I saw that
in the United States Air Force for connectivity and other stuff.
Got interested in it about 2007 when we were thinking about space-based applications.
And then I got to go to DC
Air
from
Force for connectivity and other
2011 to about 2014.
And then I got to go to DC from
doing space-based stuff. And that's where the Commercial Crew and Cargo program got done.
2014.
And that's where we have to be very truthful.
Doing space-based
The United
stuff.
States
And
of
that's where the
America
Commercial Crew and Cargo program
loaned
got done.
Elon $1.7
And
billion.
that's where we have to be very truthful. The United States of America.
To my knowledge, it's the only loan
Elon
that's ever been paid off by a
$1.7
space
billion
contractor in the history of NASA.
To my knowledge, it's the only
Elon
loan
Musk and
that's ever
SpaceX
been
paid back
paid
that
off by a
$1.7
space
billion with interest, I might add,
contractor in the history
back
of
to the
NASA.
taxpayer for that loan.
Elon Musk and SpaceX
And what did we
paid
get
back
for
that
it?
$1.7 billion
We
with
got
interest, I might
2
add.
rockets, the Falcon 1
Back
and the
to the
Falcon
taxpayer
9.
for that loan.
Well, and eventually 3 rockets actually.
And what did
Falcon
we
Heavy
get
came
for
on not too shortly after that.
We got
5
2
different
rockets,
rocket engines,
Falcon
Merlin 1,
and the
Merlin
Falcon
2,
9.
Kestrel,
Well, and eventually 3 rockets actually. Falcon Heavy
the
came
Draco
on
and the
not too
Super
shortly after that.
Draco.
5 different rocket engines.
We got 2
Merlin 1,
capsules,
Merlin 2,
a cargo capsule and a
Kestrel,
crew capsule for
the Draco
$1.7
and the
billion.
Super Draco.
You juxtapose that against
got
the
2
$40
capsules,
billion
a
that we
cargo
spent on
capsule and a crew
Artemis that's
capsule
gotten us 2 flights, 1
for
man,
$1.7 billion.
and
You
an
juxtapose
infrastructure
that
that is
against
just
the $40
ridiculous, that
billion
has
that we spent on
almost virtually
Artemis
no
that's gotten us 2
reusability,
flights,
only
1
the
man.
capsule. Meanwhile,
and,
Falcon
an
9
infrastructure that is just ridiculous,
is,
that has
I want to
almost
say, about
virtually no
90%
reusability.
reusable.
Only the
They
capsule.
reuse the fairings. Only the stage
Meanwhile,
2
Falcon
is not
9
reusable.
is
Maybe 80%.
I want to say about 90%.
But we also have this
reusable.
thing
They
called
reuse the
Starship.
fairings. Only the stage 2 is
And
is
during
not
this whole time,
reusable.
it's been a private
maybe
company.
80%.
SpaceX has been a private company.
But we also
So
have
that
this thing
means that
called
Wall Street
Starship.
can't get its fingers into it.
And during this whole time,
the 2 times that
it's
I've
been a
ever been
private
asked my
company.
opinion on
SpaceX has been a
it
private
to somebody
company.
who matters,
So
I
that
say
means that Wall Street
Elon
can't
needs
get
to
its
keep it
fingers
private
into
as long
it.
as he
And
can.
the 2
But guess
times that I've
what?
ever been asked my opinion on
SpaceX is
to
going
somebody who
public,
matters, I say
everybody,
Elon needs to keep
giving
it
Musk
private as
sweeping
long as he
power
can.
and curbs
But guess
shareholder
what?
rights. Musk is taking this thing
SpaceX is going
public, but
public,
he's making
everybody,
it to where
giving
shareholders are
Musk
not going to
sweeping power
have
and curbs
too much of
shareholder
a say
rights.
in it. And
Musk is taking
corporate
this thing
America
public, but
is
he's
not
making
happy
it to
because it's
where
all legal.
shareholders are not going to have too much of a say in it.
The
And
SpaceX
corporate
IPO
America
is
is not
expected to
happy
raise up to
because it's all
$75
legal.
billion at a $1.75
The
trillion
SpaceX
valuation.
IPO is expected to raise up to $75
Now,
billion
let's think about that.
at a
$1.75
$1.75
trillion.
trillion valuation.
I'm just telling you this,
Now,
if Elon
let's
actually
think
makes
about
this as
that.
big as I think he's going to make it,
$1.75 trillion.
within 30 years,
If
he'll be able to pay
I'm
off the
just
national
telling you
debt
this,
by
if
himself.
Elon actually makes this as big as I think he's going to make it,
Think about
within
that.
30 years he'll be able to pay
$1.75
off the
trillion.
national debt by himself.
That's a lot of money for a space company. What is he doing
Think
out there in
about that,
space?
$1.75 trillion.
Full disclosure, I don't know.
That's a lot of money for a space company.
I
what
would
is
say
he
this
doing
though,
out there in space?
because as everybody's timeline gets
Full disclosure,
fed
I don't know.
the disclosure line, whether it be
I would
because
say
of
this though,
a movie
because
coming
as
out by
everybody's
Steven Spielberg,
timeline gets
who also coincidentally
fed
did
the
reach out
disclosure
and
line, whether it
gave
be
us
because
Close
of
Encounters of a Third
a
Kind,
movie coming out by
which
Steven
was a great movie
Spielberg,
back in the
who
70s.
also
I do
coincidentally
remember
did
watching
reach
that. It
out
freaked me out a
and
little bit.
gave us Close Encounters of a Third
I was
Kind,
only 7 years
which
old
was a
when
great
I saw
movie
it.
back in the 70s. I do remember watching that. It freaked me out a little
But
bit.
it's going to
I
this
was only
7
7 years old, I
$1.75
think, when I
trillion
saw it.
valuation is going to give SpaceX the money to go ahead and do all the things it wants to do with Starship.
$1.75 trillion valuation is going to give
And
SpaceX the money to
might
go
I
ahead
remind
and do
everybody
all
that
the
the
things it wants to
conspiracy
do with
theorists are
Starship.
79, 0, and 1, with the
And
8 space aliens being
might I
outstanding.
remind
So
everybody
that
that
one's
the
still holding
conspiracy
out
theorists
there.
are 79, 0,
But what
and
isn't a
1, with
conspiracy
the
theory is
8
that
space
Elon Musk
aliens
is
being
making a big push
outstanding.
for
So
the
that one's
moon
still holding out there.
and for Mars.
But what isn't a
Leveraging the
conspiracy
company's
theory is that Elon
2024
Musk is
move
making a
to
big push
Texas.
for the
Why
moon
did
and for
SpaceX
Mars.
move from California, Hawthorne, California,
Leveraging the company's
to Texas?
2024 move to Texas.
Could it be
Why
that
did
California was just taxing the
SpaceX
crap
moves
out of
from
everything and
California,
couldn't get
Hawthorne,
anything done through
California, to
rigorous and
Texas?
onerous regulations, much like the
Could it
state
be
of
that
Illinois
California was just taxing the
and
crap out
Morton
of
Salt
everything and couldn't get
and the
anything
state
done
of New
through
Jersey,
rigorous and
ExxonMobil?
onerous regulations?
Where are they
Much
going?
like the state
Texas.
of Illinois
I sure do wish we
and
could get.
Morton Salt
Man, wouldn't it be
and
awesome
the
to have
state of New Jersey,
ExxonMobil in Jackson,
ExxonMobil.
Mississippi?
Where are they going?
I know it's a pipe
Texas.
dream and it would
I
never
sure do
happen,
wish
but
we could get.
I mean, could you
Man, wouldn't it
imagine
be
the
awesome to have
economic boom
ExxonMobil in Jackson, Mississippi?
that would be for Mississippi?
I know it's a pipe dream and it would never happen.
But I
I
digress.
mean, could you imagine the economic boom
Concentrate power through super voting
that would
shares.
be for Mississippi?
Let me start that over.
But I
Leveraging the
digress.
company's 2024 move to Texas, Musk structured the
Concentrate
offering
power
to
through super
concentrate
voting
power
shares.
through super voting shares, allowing him
Let me
to
start that over.
retain more than
Leveraging the company's
50%
2024
of
move
the
to
voting
Texas,
control
Musk
while
structured the offering
bypassing
to
traditional
concentrate power through
governance
super voting
requirements.
shares, allowing him
Yep,
to
it's got
retain more than
definitely some
50%
people
of the
really
voting
ticked
control
off.
while
But
bypassing
people who
traditional
want to invest in SpaceX,
governance
who
requirements.
realize the value in
Yep, it's
SpaceX,
got definitely some
not
people
really going to worry
ticked
about it
off.
because if you're
But
you're
people
someone
who
who
wanna
likes
invest
Elon,
in SpaceX,
you're going to trust
who
him with your
realize
money,
the value in SpaceX,
whether that be
not
Tesla,
really going to worry about it. Because
whether that be
if
the
you're
boring
someone who likes
company,
Elon,
the tunnel drilling
you're going to
company,
trust him
whether
with
that
your
be
money.
SpaceX,
Whether that be
whether that be
Tesla, whether that
X
be the
and
boring
Grok.
company, the tunnel drilling company, whether that
Which
be
is just-
SpaceX.
It's just incredible. incredible to
Whether
me.
that be
Despite governance concerns,
X
investors
and
remain
Grok,
eager for exposure to the rocket maker, with
which
Joel
is just-
Schulman, founder
it's
and
just
chief
incredible
investment
to me.
officer of ERS
Despite
Shares,
governance
saying
concerns,
that
investors
he
remain
would
eager
rather
for
have him
exposure to the
making these
rocket maker,
decisions, given
with
Musk's
Joel
wealth
Schulman,
building
founder
track
and chief
record.
investment officer
And,
of
and that's the
ERS
truth.
Shares, saying that he
Who
would
are all the
rather
people
have
who
him
are
making
whining,
these decisions,
moaning, and
given Musk's
complaining
wealth building track
about
record.
Elon Musk?
And that's
People
the
who
truth.
could never do what Elon could.
Who are all the people who are whining,
They
moaning,
sit
and
there
complaining
in their government
about
cubicles,
Elon Musk?
pushing
People who
papers,
could never
pushing
do what Elon
buttons,
could.
meaninglessly.
They sit
I mean,
there in
I'll
their
never forget
government
it.
cubicles,
Elon
pushing
said it,
papers,
and
pushing
when you hear
buttons,
it, it sends a
meaninglessly.
shiver up your spine.
I mean,
Either they're part of
I'll
the
never
signal
forget it.
or you're just
Elon
noise.
said it, and when you hear it,
But
it
political
sends a
people,
shiver up
we
your
had our
spine.
own little
You
segment.
either are part of the
We
signal
were still
or
noise,
you're
but we were
just
kind of
noise.
important to the signal.
But political people, we
Part
had
of the
our own
job
little
description
segment.
was to
We were still
schmooze
noise, but we were
politicians.
kind of important to the
And we
signal.
did. Experts warned that this structure sets a precedent for
job
other high-profile tech
description was to
IPOs expected
schmooze
later this year,
politicians.
including
And we
Anthropic
did.
and OpenAI,
Experts
potentially
warned that this
reshaping
structure
how
sets a
founder-led
precedent for
companies
other
balance capital
high-profile tech
access
IPOs
with
expected
corporate
later this year,
accountability.
including Anthropic
Yep.
and OpenAI,
And
potentially
Anthropic
reshaping
is,
how
and
founder-led
I don't have the
companies
story in front of me. I
balance
did read it,
capital
and it
with
was on
corporate
the
accountability.
stuff to talk about
Yep.
today. But
And
Anthropic,
is, and I don't
which
have
is
the
an
story in
AI
front of me.
company,
I did read it, and it was on the
has been caught
stuff to talk
developing
about today.
censorship tools for
Anthropic,
those of us who are on the right,
which is an AI company,
and promoting leftist views.
has been caught developing censorship tools for
Now, the
those of
big
us who
thing
are on
about
the
the
right
SpaceX IPO to
and
me
promoting
is
leftist views.
not the fact that it's $75 billion in cash or
Now, the big
$1.5
thing about
trillion
the SpaceX
rating.
IPO to me is
It's the
not
possibility
the
of
fact
what we're
that
going to
it's
be able to accomplish
$75
in
billion
space
in
over the
cash
next
or
5 to 6 years,
$1.5 trillion
provided that the
rating.
hantavirus doesn't kill us
It's
all.
the possibility of what we're going to be able
I
to
told you, full
accomplish in
disclosure.
space over the next 5 to 6 years, provided that the hantavirus doesn't kill us all.
With SpaceX and their Starship
I told you, full
program,
disclosure.
if you haven't followed it yet, if you want to be inspired by American exceptionalism,
with
if you want to
SpaceX
see
and
really
their Starship
what
program,
American greatness
if you haven't
is,
followed it yet, if
just
you
go
want to be
spend 10 minutes
inspired by
looking up
American
SpaceX launches,
exceptionalism,
Falcon 9 launches,
if you want to see really
Falcon Heavy
what
launches,
American greatness
Starship
is,
launches.
just go spend
And the
10
cool
minutes
thing
looking
about
up
it
SpaceX launches,
is that they
Falcon
do
9
not
launches,
hide. They do not
Falcon Heavy
hide
launches,
from their
Starship launches.
failures.
And the cool
They
thing
promote
about
it.
is
They
that
have
they
like a
do
whole
not
4-minute video
hide.
of
They
trying
do
to land
not
on a ship
hide
and just blowing the
from
hell out of
their
rockets.
failures. They
They're just
promote
going
it.
through it.
They have
But they were learning. They were
4-minute
building
video of
something
trying to
bigger
land
than
on a
just
ship and
themselves.
just blowing the hell out of rockets.
I mean,
just going through it.
SpaceX,
But they were learning. They were
I mean,
building
what do you
something
compare it
bigger than
to?
just themselves.
An American company, maybe.
I mean, SpaceX.
I would say like Budweiser or
I
Levi's.
mean, what do you compare it to?
Something really Americana, Ford,
An American
Chevrolet,
company, maybe.
but
I would say
trillion
like
times
Budweiser
more
or
valuable.
Levi's, something really Americana, Ford,
Things at SpaceX,
Chevrolet,
if you're not actively pulling your weight, you're
trillion
gone.
times more valuable.
SpaceX fires 4% of their staff every year,
Things at SpaceX,
and just makes
if
way
you're
for
not
new people to come
actively
through the
pulling your
pipeline.
weight, you're gone.
You don't want to be in the bottom
SpaceX
performers.
fires 4% of their staff every year, and just
It's
makes
incredible.
way for new
People
people
burn
to come
out
through
there.
the pipeline.
But the nice thing when you work there is you do get shares, so that when it does go public, you are going to make some bank.
People burn out there.
But the people at
But
the
nice
Wall
thing when you
Street
work there is
Journal,
you do get shares,
the New York
so that when it
Times,
does go public, you are going to make
CNBC,
some bank.
the Times
But the
of
people at the
London,
Wall Street Journal, the New
the
York
Globe and
Times,
Mall are all
CNBC,
worried that SpaceX is going
the
to
Times
change
of
to how
London,
shares are and
the
IPOs are
Globe and
offered in the
Mall
future. And I think it's a
are all
great thing.
worried that SpaceX is going to change
It's
to
an
how
absolute great thing.
shares are and IPOs
Those
are
of us who
offered
can
in the
fail,
future.
or those
And I
of
think it's
the
a great
companies
thing.
that can go out and do great
It's
things,
an absolute
have
great
control
thing.
of their companies.
Those of
Look
us
what
who can
happens
fail,
when
or those of
you
the
get
companies
corporate
that can-
weenies in charge
can
of
go out and do great
corporations.
things, have control of their companies.
I think
Look
of
what happens
Disney
when you get corporate weenies in
and
charge of
Lucasfilm.
corporations.
It-
I think of
it's
Disney
heartbreaking what happened to Star Wars and Marvel.
and Lucasfilm.
Maul was great, but I'll tell you what, after
It's
that George
heartbreaking
or
what happened to
Luke
Star
Skywalker
Wars
thing,
and Marvel.
don't want anything to do with it.
Maul was
So
great. but
if
I'll tell you what, after
company
that
owners who
George
have
or,
real value, who
Luke
have a
Skywalker
real
thing,
product to
don't want
offer,
anything to do with it.
can take their product
So
to market
if
and still keep control over it
Company
and get a
owners
little
who
bit
have
of
real value,
public
who
buy-in,
have a real product to
fully
offer,
disclosed on the front end that
can
they're just
take their
buying
product to
in,
market
and
still
they're not
keep
going to have a
control
say
over
in
it
what goes
and get a
on.
little bit of public
Hey,
buy-in.
I'm all for it.
Fully
But that's
disclosed on
just
the
my
front end
opinion,
that they're just buying in,
and I think it's going to push
and
the
they're not going to have
debate
a say
further
in
down
what
the
goes on.
the road.
I'm
It's
all
going to be
for it.
great.
But
You
that's
are
just
tuned
my
into the Andrew
opinion.
Gosser Show right
And I
here on
think it's gonna
103.9
push the debate
WYAB. We're
further
going to
down
take
the
our last break of the show. We'll be right
road.
back.
It's going to be great. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We're going to take our last break of the show. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Now is the time to turn over a new leaf and shower yourself with savings at Mazda of Jackson. Mazda of Jackson has rates as low as 0.9% on select models, or spring into savings with up to $3,000 in customer cash with approved credit. Get to Mazda of Jackson today, where certified pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Flora for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County Academy, went there the first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children into Tri-County Academy and need a place to live, then give me a call. Without a doubt, the Flora expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 601-720-4037, or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
This is DeMario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Huddle up, wing lovers, and double your count for less on Wing Tuesdays at Buffalo Wild Wings. When you buy one order of traditional wings, get one for 50% off. No time to dine? Order for delivery and wing it up with a crew at home. Or pick up takeout when you're on the go. Limit one per order, not valid with any other offers. Additional terms and conditions apply. Huddle up for Wing Tuesday at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I'm going to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours, too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
And welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show, where I will not let you down. Just two last stories here as we walking out the door. And Lindsey Beckham's coming on next with the Lindsey Beckham Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. First headline is, longtime Democrat Charlotte Mayor V. Lies. Can't make that name up. V-I-L-Y-L-E-S. V. Lies. Miss V. Lies to resign months into new term. So she's 73 years old. She's going to resign effectively June 30th. Serving as Charlotte's mayor has been an honor of a lifetime. I think she's five terms. 5-term Democrat in Charlotte. How's Charlotte doing, by the way? Go pull up the crime statistics on that. Don't be a Ukrainian pizza worker on the subway, that's for sure. She says, though, as all things politics, I'm sure there will be suspicion as to why I'm making this decision now. Simply put, I'm going to go spend time with my grandkids. And you know what? I can appreciate that. As a recovering politician myself, I can tell you for sure that it sure is nice being on the other side of that. Not having to worry about people tracking you down or messaging your kids. It was crazy. I didn't talk about the Iran war a lot today. It's not that I didn't have stuff to say about it. It's just that after listening to Mike Madison talk about it, I was like, I didn't really want to confront him. I wanted to let him go there. But he did say that the warmongers have done a poor job fighting this war. I would argue that casualties have been low. Equipment has been low. We've completely changed the face of how the world is working right now. Two countries have already left OPEC. OPEC is destabilizing, freeing up oil markets to go back to a free market pricing system instead of a cartel system. It takes time. And now this comes out. Confidential CIA analysis says Iran can survive U.S. blockade for months. WP, Washington Post. Iran can survive the U.S. naval blockade for at least 3 to 4 months before facing more severe economic hardship. The Washington Post reported, citing a confidential CIA analysis. Well, if that CIA analysis wasn't intended to be leaked, I sure do hope that the DOJ, the FBI, and DIA go after this leaker. But I want to, in the last little bit of time that we have here, talk about what a 3 to 4 month blockade looks like. It gives us time to restructure how we funnel oil here in America. You know, we could sell all of our oil back to ourselves and lower the price of gas if we weren't following OPEC's lead. But if we do that, then we tick off the Saudis, the Omans, not the United Arab Emirates or the Kuwaitis or the Venezuelans. And we are a generation where we just want instantly things flipped and switched on right like that. Just, go to war with Iran, use all of our laser-guided weapons in the world's greatest Air Force and Space Force, world's greatest Navy, make it happen. And we make stuff look easy, but then comes the hard part about it. And to get rid of the IRGC is going to take time. The Immortal Guard's going to do it. And they are doing it. You don't hear about it too often unless you watch third-party news sources. But right now, let the Iranian people slowly take back their country and let the IRGC crumble. Let the EU figure out what it's like to actually have to produce something to actually exist instead of skimming $2 to $3 per barrel of oil off every ship that goes through the Suez Canal. Want to open up the Suez Canal? Great. Iran, demine it and let the commerce flow. That is what the U.S. Navy does, is the free flow of traffic on open sea lanes. But I digress. There are people here who just want to hear what they want to hear. No real logic. They're just doing what they're doing. Last thing I want to talk about is my sweet pea gave a great sermon last night at church. It was wonderful. She talked about farm life and being a shepherd. And I said in the beginning, know the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds. You know, your flock might be your kids. Your herd might be your grandkids. Do you know the condition of them? How about the condition of your own heart? Do you know that? I'm here to tell you, with all the craziness and disclosure that's going on in the world, you better make sure that your herd and your flock is well. Until next time, everybody, take care, be blessed, yes, and amen.